Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show number 44, and I'm pumped that you're here today because today we have a power couple on the show, and Brian and Melissa Rheaume they're just inspiring. I don't know, man. They are just doing it, and they're doing it right. They have 5 laundromats right now. They're looking to maybe build a new one. And we're going to get into all of those laundromats and talk about their incredible journey. So, whether you're an owner now or if you are looking to buy one, and in particular, if you are someone who's had trouble getting started, maybe you've been researching laundromats for a long time and you just haven't pulled the trigger yet, this one might be inspiring for you because these guys just made it happen, and they made it happen all real fast. Definitely action-based. Super fun episode. These guys are awesome. I know you're going to love it and get a ton of great stuff out of it. So before we get into it, I just want to say, man, the forums are going like crazy right now. All the forums that we have going on over there, commercial real estate financing, laundromat forums, the new member introductions, the repairs forums. We have all those forums over at laundromatresource.com/forums. Go get involved over there. People are interacting, they're learning, they're growing, and most importantly, they're getting to know each other. So don't miss that boat. Go get to know some other people in the industry over there, connect, learn, grow, and man, let's all get places together. I love it. Love to see it happening. So fun. Hey, if you are someone who is interested in maybe taking a little more passive approach in laundromats and or in commercial real estate, make sure you go check out Diligence Capital Investments. We're putting together right now a couple of package deals to see if maybe these might be good fits. And if you're interested in maybe being a part of what we're doing, I got a team of us that are going out and we're going to find some laundromats or spaces to build laundromats. And it's just an all-star team, and it's going to be awesome. So if that's something you're interested, diligencecapitalinvestments.com. The link to this and everything else we talk about today will be at laundromatresource.com/show44. So make sure you check that out. And I was going to say something else and I can't remember what it was. Oh, make sure, every week on Thursdays, we got webinars going. If you're catching this right when it comes out within a day or two, this week we're talking about how to analyze a laundromat deal. So go sign up for that webinar. It's free. We'll have a different webinar every week. Well, we'll cycle through some different webinars, but every week we'll have a webinar. They're free, and I just love if you'd come join us over there. Just go to laundromatresource.com. The sign up form will be at the top of that page. Just sign up there and you will receive instructions into your mail inbox. Come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get to a quick marketing quick tip, and then we'll jump into it with Brian and Melissa Rheaume.
Hey guys, what's up? John here with Laundromat Resource Marketing with your marketing tip of the week. Your tip is this: do not pay for advertisement that does not give you data. Your data is just as valuable as acquiring new customers. So when you're running a campaign with some flyers, make sure you put a coupon code on that. A coupon code, something that you can use to track the effectiveness of that campaign. If you're advertising online with like Facebook or Google or anything like that, make sure you get that data associated with your campaign and you can see how effective that was. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, use the data to refine your process for advertising. As you keep refining it, your return on investment will only go up and up as you figure out what is most effective for your customers. If you guys need any help with any of this, contact Jordan and I through laundromatresource.com/getonline.
Brian and Melissa, how is it going? Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Oh man, I am super excited about this. I think we connected on Instagram. Is that where?
Instagram. I think I follow you and you follow us, and
yeah, Instagram friends.
One big happy family. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, hey, I am excited. We chatted a little bit right before we hit the record button, and I'm like super intrigued by your guys' story and all that. I want to hear all about it. But before we kind of get into that, why don't you tell us a little bit about you guys, who you are, where you're located, and then we'll get into how you got into this business.
All right.
You going? All right. You want me to go? I mean, the laundromats are her idea to begin with. So
it's fitting for her to start then.
Absolutely.
Right. So kind of how we got here was Brian was actually in radio. He was a local morning show. He was kind of getting tired of what he was doing. We were looking for something. He was looking for something new. And I was a stay-at-home mom. We have 3 children that are almost grown. Well, my last one's going to be 18. So I was kind of just looking online, like, highest return on your money for what we could do. And it was laundromats and car washes
and storage units.
Yeah.
So I had never stepped foot in a laundromat before. And I saw that one was for sale in town. So I was like, let's just go, check it out. So that was it. We walked through it and I was like, all right. I was like, I can do this. We can do this.
Made an offer on it, I think the next day and closed on it a month later.
And then a few months later, we bought 2 more and he left his job. And
this is our full-time
gig.
Full-time thing. Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay. Time out here. Wait a second. We just need to slow down a second because holy cow, that's crazy. All right. So let's back it up for a second. First of all, where are you guys located?
We're based out of Waterford, Connecticut, in the southeastern section of Connecticut. We have stores in Eastern Connecticut. 4 of our stores are. And our 5th store is in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay. So you're pretty much as far away from me as you can get while still being.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Was that on purpose?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Found out where you were.
We were like competitors. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's cool. Oh, you guys are getting blasted right now, right? You guys
we're getting snow. Yeah. Snow and ice. And it's, the one good thing about laundromats is everyone's laundry eventually needs to be done. So if you have a bad day because of the snow, like we were slammed yesterday and we'll be slammed. This storm's supposed to be like 2 days. So we'll be slammed on Saturday. So it all evens out, but it just sucks.
Yeah. Day by day, it could be up or down. I mean, I know how it feels because like yesterday it was like 65 and now it's in the 70s. So
poor you.
Great.
Pretty.
It's been nice talking to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. Yeah. Right.
Okay. So I always got to get a little digging on you beast coasters over there.
That's good. Yeah. I was pumped up to hear that.
Yeah. All right. I see how this is going to go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So you were in radio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was in radio. I started when I was like 14 years old and I'm 19 now. And I was in radio for over 25 years, 26 years.
Yeah.
And my time was up. I was good, did my thing and got into an executive role, the company I was with. And then kind of just talking about, I think we need to move on to the next chapter. And Melissa at dinner one night says, I looked at this laundromat deal, I think we should check this out. And there was 2 for sale, one the town over and one in our town. And the owner was retiring. He owned both stores. The gentleman that we bought our store from. And we bought the Waterford location. And like Melissa said, we walked in, we met him. I think it was like Thanksgiving Eve. I think we spent Friendsgiving with this guy.
Yeah.
And,
we did.
And we went, we went into the store and they closed early. Customers were knocking on the door to come in. He's like, no, we're closed, come back Saturday or whatever. So, we met with them and then we put an offer in, I think on Thanksgiving Day or the day after. It was pretty quick. I mean, we just jumped right in and we've always wanted to work for ourselves. We've always wanted to have our own thing. I was working for someone and, making them money. I mean, and I'm something of our own to grow. And we did it. So we just jumped right in. And I think a lot of people and I know I did, I got to like 75% on, we should do this. And, we should do this. Sorry about the dogs. I got to 75%, but never made the leap. And just finally, she was in, I was in, and we did it. And we haven't looked back since.
Well, we did the one store and then I ran it for a couple months and we just saw it was increasing and I was working a lot of hours, but I was able to grow the business in a couple months because he was such a poor owner.
Because you left the doors open? You didn't tell
he
people
locked the place up and didn't let, he didn't let anybody in.
No way. He was come back in a few days.
He was done. He owned stores for 20 years, nice enough guy, but he just let him kind of go on autopilot the last couple of years. And
he was letting the staff run them and decide when it should be open and closed. And they were just closing at 3:00 in the afternoon for, no rhyme, no reason.
Oh, your washing full order is 100 pounds. No, we can't do that. Just that kind of stuff, And so we turned that, Melissa turned that around fast, the wash and fold and with, providing a good service and great customer service. And we cleaned the store up and it was a nicely built store. It was dirty, it needed some sprucing up. The guy that we bought it from was an engineer, so it was designed really well. It was built out really well. It just needed it was 15 years old and it was starting to show its wear. So we cleaned it up really good and owned that for 4 months, and then bought small unattended store about 10 miles away. And 2 weeks later, we closed on our third store. All right. So these deals kind of fell into our lap.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. We'll get there. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
You're skipping a lot of stuff here because you're moving at the speed that you bought these laundromats right now, which is
we've been known to kind of just tick through things very quickly and
crazy. Yeah. Okay. So, just to back up a tiny bit, you mentioned you were kind of considering laundromats, car washes, storage units. What made you land on laundromats out of curiosity?
Well, one thing was the price. Laundromats, we could get really good deals on those. Car washes in the area were over $1 million. So it would have been one car wash
or multiple laundromats.
Or multiple laundromats.
Mm-hmm.
After going into a laundromat, I saw that it was something that I could do, and I could see right away all the potential and the things that I knew how to do. And even though I actually was always a stay-at-home mom, I managed our household like a business. My sister used to always say, I've never seen anybody manage a household like a business.
She did wash, dry, fold for 18 years before.
Yeah. She wasn't getting paid for it.
Wasn't getting paid for it, right? If so, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. If she's getting, because we'd be in Florida right now.
Yeah.
Or Southern California.
Yeah. Okay. So price point was the big differentiator for you between car washes. I'm assuming storage units, probably similar story, higher price point. And laundromats you felt like was a little bit more manageable. Maybe you had a little more experience with it and you just felt like you could get into that with a little bit less capital and handle it.
Yeah. And when we first, because we met in high school, well, we met before high school, but we started dating in high school. I worked for her family and they operated nursing homes. And I used to take care of the laundry equipment when I was a kid. So, I had some knowledge of the mechanical aspects of the laundry equipment. But then when I left that job and went into radio, I'm like, I'll never need that again. And then
last words.
Right. And then we bought this store and the distributor was the same as the nursing home equipment. The salesman was the same. The machines were almost the same. So
that's crazy.
You never know when you'll need that knowledge again. Yeah. So it all kind of worked out. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then you basically pulled the trigger real fast. What was it about this first one that made you say, okay, let's jump? If you've been considering kind of doing something for a while and you hadn't done it yet, what pushed you over the edge? Because it sounded like you went over the edge real quick.
Yeah, it was pretty much his boss was a jerk.
We can edit that.
It was time. You know what? It was time. It was time to make a move, and I don't know. It felt right.
It had been a long time coming. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, and this deal kind of felt right. It was something that we could afford, and something we felt that we could improve. And
everybody thought we were crazy.
Everyone thought we were crazy. And you're doing what?
Yeah.
They'll still say that.
Yeah, they do. How did what? Why? Like why?
So we made the jump. And like I said earlier, a lot of people get to that point and then they just don't pull the trigger on it, and they go back to their 9 to 5, hate their job, hate their boss, and wish that they did something, and so many times we got to that point and didn't do anything. I felt like, all right, we're going to, this is it.
My family's full of entrepreneurs. So my grandfather used to always say, most people, they have the potential to be their own boss, but they just won't take the leap of faith and try. And if you never try, then you're always just going to be held by someone else. You'll never, you'll never work for yourself if you won't take that leap of faith and just try.
I can't tell you how many people I do coaching calls with who have a similar story where they've said, for years I've been thinking about buying a laundromat and they have not pulled the trigger. And I don't know, just out of curiosity, do you guys have any advice for someone in that situation? Because I know that there are people like that listening right now.
You're your own worst enemy. Because in your head, you're like, what if I fail? What if it doesn't do well? What if the customers don't come? And what if you won't know unless you try, and that was our big thing is we kept my other job for 5 months after we bought the first store. But then as we saw how quickly we grew and I say we, but it was mainly Melissa in the beginning because I had my other job. It took off. We said, okay, we can make this work. And then that's how we had an owner of another store approach us just 3 months into our first store and say, hey, I have a store for sale.
Would you guys want to buy it?
You guys want to buy? He came into our store. So it's kind of like the reverse of most deals. You hear people walking in saying, I want to buy your store. This guy came in and was trying to sell us on this underperforming store. So we got together. I actually talked to him on the phone. Melissa was at the laundromat when he came in. I called him that night. I said, how much do you want? He said, XYZ. I said, how about this number? And he said, okay. And I said, how much do you want for rent? And he said a number. And I said, that sounds reasonable. I said, I'll write a letter of intent right now. I'll print it out, sign it. I'll write over a memorandum of understanding for the lease. And because he's my landlord. And they live like 5 miles from us. So we went to their house and met them, signed the paperwork, and we sent it off to our attorneys the next day. And that was the second laundromat. And that store has been our highest profiting store we almost didn't buy it. He actually came back to us twice because we weren't sure the first time. It seemed a little shady. And he came back a second time to try to sell us the store. And
he really just didn't know what he had.
He didn't know what he had. And so that's how that second deal came together.
So man, you guys are awesome. I love this. Okay. So I'll
just wait till the next door. The next story.
We just Forrest Gump through life.
I don't know. It worked for him. It's working for you, I guess. Okay. So he comes to you and says, hey, buy my store. Why was he trying to sell a store?
He was in his late 70s. He didn't want to sell it, but his wife's like, listen, I want to go to Greece every year. They go for a month every summer and they have a lot of rental properties. They own, a lot of apartments behind the store. And it was just, and a lot of people quickly find out, we can talk about this at some point, quickly find out it's not just about collecting coins and going in and maybe wiping off the tops of machines. I mean, this is our full-time job. We have 5 stores. We take it seriously. This is our livelihood. It's more than just that. I get a lot of people that we know that will say, oh, you just go in and collect coins once a week. Yeah, that's all I do. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just got off the phone with somebody said there's a fire in your laundromat at 6:00 on a Saturday morning.
That's a true story, by the way, right?
True story. Well, we can get to that too if you want.
Yeah.
But it was just time for him to retire. And now he just collects the rent check. I mean, he did the ultimate deal. He built the plaza. He has a restaurant on one side. We're in the other. He owned the laundromat, built it out, and then he sells the business and he gets the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everyone's happy. And the store was underperforming, way underperforming. And we aggressively marketed it, had newer equipment in it. He bought all top of the line stuff. I mean, it is a well-equipped store. It just needed some zhuzhing, right?
Yeah.
Zhuzhing?
Yeah.
And some marketing, and we made it 24 hours. And it's located in between two of the largest independent casinos in the world.
Oh.
That each employ about.
And he didn't capitalize on that at all.
They each employ, 8,500 people. A lot of them are renters. So, and they work weird schedules. So we felt like being open 24 hours. It was in a good part of town, and capitalize on that.
And life came full circle because Brian was a morning show, and a lot of the people that listened to the radio station knew him from there. And it turned out a lot of those people are our customers in that town. So everyone, oh my gosh, Brian owns that laundromat. So, yeah. So we still get people, they know us. And
today I had somebody actually.
That's what in our stores, we have our names, welcome to our store, Brian and Melissa.
Actually, you're first.
Melissa and Brian. So people know us by name. And we introduce ourselves to our customers, and we want to know our customers.
That was my secret sauce. You should have waited. Damn it.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll explore. I'm going to ask you more questions about it in the secret sauce section. How about that?
All right.
All right. Well, can we dig into that just a little? I know we have more laundromat to get to because you have more. But real quick, I mean, I'm just curious. So he has this store that's underperforming. You guys come in and take it over. You talked about aggressive marketing and opening it 24 hours. Can you tell us a little more details? Like what did you do for marketing to get people in the doors?
Well, my last morning show shift, I promoted the hell out of the stores because I knew I was leaving. I did actually.
That's awesome.
Every other word is like my laundry for less. Social media marketing and a lot of social media, just to create some excitement about it. We do, Google ads for all of our stores. But that's a whole different set of advertising to grow excitement around an existing store. A lot of it was done through Facebook, and honestly, a lot of it was word of mouth up there. Just because the area was underserved by a good store. So, I think I felt right. I mean, That's pretty much. Nothing will beat word of mouth. People talk about, is there a silver bullet for success in any business, not just laundromats? And there isn't. I think it's a little bit of everything, but your best promotion, your best advertising are your customers. They really are, and the store and someone's having a good experience, you ask them to give you a Google rating. Or hey, tell your friends. We do have signs in the store that say, give us a Google review. 5 stars. Yeah, give us a 5-star. We don't give an option. We don't want to hear from you. Give the 5 stars highlighted and say, give us a 5-star review. If not, contact us at.
Send us your address and we'll send somebody over there to tune you up a little.
Yeah, we'll take care of you. Yeah. Sopranos. I like that. No, so we, and if we do get a bad review, we address it, and I think a lot, not to get off track, but a lot of those bad reviews, a lot of operators make the mistake of either not responding to them or being totally snotty in the response. Customers pick up on that kind of stuff, and I think your realistic customer will look at your look at your reviews, and if there's a 1 star and then a bunch of 5s, and you respond a certain way to the 1 star, they get it, so that's kind of how we run things.
Yeah, I like that. And I always kind of encourage people, hey, when you get a negative review, don't respond right away, like immediately, because that's an emotional response. Like take a beat, take a couple deep breaths.
You need to
take a walk and then collect your thoughts and say, hey, is there any merit to this? And if there is, tell them how you're going to address it. And if there isn't, just calmly explain your side of things. And, people read that, people see that.
We had a guy just last week. We had a hot water heater at one of the sinks, not for the machines, but one of the sinks in the store, a hand washing sink. We had to order new hot water heaters, so there wasn't hot water. He's been going there 17 years, and he didn't give us a 5-star rating for 17 years. He gave us 3 stars because the hot water heater didn't work one time. Hand wash sink at the hand wash outside of the bathroom. So it's like that's what you're up against. And, it's all in the way you respond, but it's just part of doing business.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why it's important to ask people and even have signage to remind people, hey, it's important for us and for our business to get those 5-star reviews. Because when people have a great experience, a lot of times they don't think to go tell that. But when they have a bad experience, first thing is, I'm going to let everybody know about this. I'll show them. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's important to ask for those good reviews and remind people, hey, we're working hard here for you guys to give you a good experience doing a chore that you probably don't like to do. Hey, reward us with a 5-star review. It's pretty easy. So
if not, prices are going to go up.
That's right. And we might send someone to your house to take care of you. All right. Okay. So you turned that second store around. Oh, out of curiosity, you mentioned it was between two casinos and you said the previous owner wasn't really taking advantage of that. What did you guys do to take advantage of that?
We made the store 24-hour. He was, again, another owner that was closing at like 6.
And casino workers too, we see a lot of them leave work together and come do laundry together. And, if they're in the service industry, they'll get out at 2 a.m., go home, sleep, and so we immediately thought that would be a good idea. And a lot of people have 24-hour stores, have no problems. Some people have 24-hour stores and there are a lot of problems. This store is in a good part of town. We felt comfortable with leaving 24 hours. And actually, the one thing that told me we should be 24 hours is the first day I went in to collect coins after we bought it. I went to lock myself in because we were new at this still and everything. And I broke the friggin' key off in the lock. And we have not taken the key, the little part. It's still in the lock at the store. We haven't locked it in almost 3 years. So we haven't closed since. So it's going to stay in there.
Yeah. So you're not willingly 24/7. You literally just can't lock up.
I'm too cheap to come look at it. So damn it, we're going to be open 24 hours.
That's right. I wouldn't pay the money to do the lock either. Jeez, man. That's a pretty funny story, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you get the second one, you start turning it around pretty quick, but you said a couple of weeks later, you closed on a third one. How did that happen?
Sorry, you're doing.
Go ahead.
So while we were talking to the owner about the second one, a broker approached us about buying a store about 45 minutes away from us, and which is in Hartford, which is capital of Connecticut. We looked at it, went up there on a Saturday and looked at it. Following week, I think we met with the owner and he kind of took us through the back end and, and everything. And, okay. We like it. Rent was reasonable. It was it's a standalone building, but it's surrounded by, it's so densely populated there. It's surrounded by some restaurants and, a lot of our customers are walkers. All right. Yeah, I think, we'll do this. Kind of negotiated a deal. So we closed on the Norwich store April 14th, and we closed on the Hartford store May 5th. I left my job on May 1st. So once we had the I know, trust me, nuts. But once I had the closing date of the other two stores, I put my notice in, and the rest is history. We haven't looked back. We've just forward and the building and growing and so.
Brian, I feel like I need to just call you Dorothy from now on because I feel like you're swept up in this whirlwind and taken to Oz because all of a sudden, you're in radio, you get this laundromat, a couple months later, you get another one, 2 weeks later, you get another one and you're done with your job and you're in this totally different world.
Totally different.
Holy cow.
Crazy,
They still do. People still do.
I can't believe you left your job, that's crazy. I would have never been able to do that, or I wouldn't have done that, just because they wouldn't have thought that, they would be able to, take on so much so fast. But I don't know. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and those deals came to us, and we capitalized, seized the moment. Because then after that, there was nothing for sale for like the next year.
Yeah, we've been looking.
Like we were looking for like a year and there was nothing. So I felt like, all right, the writing's on the wall. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us about that third store. What was it like? Was it a fixer upper? Was it running? What was it like?
It was
it needed to be cleaned really well, needed some maintenance on machines. I mean, the equipment's older in that store, not hideously old.
It's like, it was 12 years old when we bought it. Had all Speed Queen, machines. I mean, it was a nice store. It was successful. The owners just got out for other reasons, and they just, they were burnt on the business, and it was their only store. And, I don't know. It had a very good reputation in the city. And, it was the highest rated laundromat on Google in Hartford. And there's a lot of competition up there. And we just felt like, okay, we can make this work. It's 45 minutes from the house. I think it's fully staffed.
The landlord's very nice.
Landlord's nice. His father was a tailor out of that building in the 50s. And I mean, there's a lot of history there. We hit it off with the landlord. And I don't know. It's just, again, it's like, we just, all right,
we're like
fine.
laundromat savants.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's win. Let's go for it. We went up there, I think 2 or 3 times just to kind of see what kind of business it was doing. And then at that time, after we bought the first and second store, we smartened up a little bit and said, hey, can we see some utility bills? The first store, we were like, all right, yeah, here,
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And he's like, this is the numbers it's doing. We're like, all right, well, seems like an honest guy. Okay. So on this one, by the store, we're like, we need to see some utility bills to make sure things are right. And it was the same utility company as we have at our first store. So we were able to kind of compare. It's not exact, but pretty close, We
knew it was making
We knew it was making money. So if we knew it was making enough to cover the bills and, that we would be able to get it cranking. Got a great staff up there. And
that's one thing in that location. It's been easy for us to find staff and good staff.
Yeah, it's just a densely populated area and hardworking people in that community. We have one employee that
she doesn't speak English.
She doesn't speak English. It's a very Hispanic population up in that area of the city. And we love her. She's probably our favorite employee.
But we can't talk to her. We do through Google Translate. She's 70 years old.
She's 70. I'll tell you what, we just found 70. She's unbelievable. We love her. She's like our grandmother, not a grandmother, mother at this point. Second mother.
Yeah.
So, but we have yet to understand each other's language, which is fantastic. Yeah. I almost like it better that way, because if she complains, I have no idea what she's saying.
Right. You're like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, she's fantastic. And most of the customers are bilingual. So she, which is great. I mean, I kind of like that she speaks Spanish anyways, because it's, more relatable to our basic customers, which is good.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Yeah.
So you buy this third one. It's a little bit further away, right? You said like 45 minutes?
45 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. When was this, by the way? What year?
It was 18.
1895 or
95. Yeah. 1895.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
2018.
2018. Yeah. Our first store, we closed the last day of 2017. And then the other 2 were in 2018.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you said you bought your third one and then dry spell for a little while, right? So you're just focusing on your stores?
Driving around on the weekends with a coffee, looking for new stores, looking at competition.
That's what we spend our weekends on.
We like to go in other stores to see what they're doing and what their stores look like. So we can do what we need to do, what we need to change,
If I drive by a competitor, I see 4 cars in their parking lot.
We want to know why.
Why are they there? Not at our place. What do we need to do? So, I mean, we eat, drink, sleep this business. It's kind of consumed us because we love it. And hopefully our passion shows to our customers. And that they know that they're coming into a store that has owners that truly care about their customers, and if you have a problem with the machine, I'm going to start on the machine for you, even if it's your fault. If you put, 5 cups of soap in a Horizon, we're going to
drown you with fabric softener.
We're going to drown you with, but that's just,
get out the bucket of Downy.
Yeah, right. But that's just our mentality for how we operate our business, and hope that, that word spreads, and, so far so good.
Yeah. I think that's a good mentality to have. I've heard that sentiment expressed multiple times now on the podcast from people I would consider top-notch owners. Right. And I think it does come through to customers when you are more interested in providing a good service and taking care of them than you are of squeezing every dime out of them. That shows, right? And it means something. When you're driving around, or when you were driving around looking at competitors, was there anything in particular you were looking for, or were you just looking to see how they set their stuff up? Or
we try to see, how stores are set up, how clean they keep them. Are they attended? Are they not attended? Are they partially attended? What does their staff look like? Are they, are people logoed wearing a uniform? Do they look like they're the attendant, or are they just blending in, looking grubby in the background?
Or sitting there at the counter on their phone.
Yeah.
Which is a pet peeve of ours.
Mm-hmm.
I do a full shakedown of everyone.
I just want to see, I want to see what you're doing.
Yeah. And we listen to your podcast too while we're doing this. So
probably
seriously, on a Saturday morning, you're in our car
with us
as we're going from store to store to store. Okay. That you have gotten, if you don't get a Grammy this year or whatever the award is, I'm going to be disappointed. You have a right to.
Well, in all honesty, it's probably the key to your success. So,
hey, I'm telling you, we talked about this before we went on, is I've taken something away from every single podcast that you had, and when you had Luke Williford on, I actually reached out to him and said, man, I learned so much, and I follow his stuff on social media,
Mm-hmm.
I learned so much, and that kind of, his episode got me hooked on your podcast. I think I on social media that you had this podcast going. It happened to be the week he was on, and then I just listen every week. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think Luke's awesome for one, and I'll link for anybody who hasn't heard Luke's episode yet or don't know who Luke is. He owns like 1,005 million.
Something like that. Every week he's building out stores.
Yeah. I don't know. He's got somewhere around the neighborhood of 40 laundromats. And he's a solid guy, really good guy. But I'll link to his episode in the show notes, or if you're on YouTube, down in the description. You're definitely going to want to check that one out. But thank you for saying all that. And it's because of people like you who are willing to come on and share your stories, share your lessons and your wisdom with each other to try to help make this industry better. And it's been awesome. I think a lot of people are getting a lot out of it. So thanks for coming on.
Good stuff. Yeah.
All right, but we're not done yet. So this is sounding a little bit too much like the end. So I want to hear, okay, so you bought this third one, then you're kind of out looking for laundromats for sale, scoping out the competition, that kind of thing. Walk me through what happened from there. Cause I know you got 5 now, right? So
we found a store that we were interested in a town, probably half an hour away. The owner was kind of interested, not interested. And then he ultimately decided not to sell to us. And so I said, well, let's just go home the back way and see what.
Don't take the highway home.
Yeah.
She's like, let's take the back road.
I said, let's just see, what's out here and if there's any competition. So we're driving, and lo and behold, there's a laundromat that's been closed down. And we're like, what's the story with that? So I was like, when we get home, Brian's like, I'm going to send the link, send a letter and see if we can find out what's going on with this little closed down laundromat. It turned out that the owner had passed away 18 months prior. And the son didn't want to run it. So it was just sitting empty. It was a little zombie mat, really cute, had potential.
It's their smallest store by far.
So we ended up buying it.
Well, this is another like quick deal.
Yeah. So
Well, it's your forte.
The landlord was super nice. He lives upstairs.
He lives upstairs.
And he's an elderly gentleman, and his sister and him both own the property. And there was 2 storefronts downstairs. The other side is a church. And we just, like in a few days.
Yeah, it was quick. So
I mean, that seems long on your timeline.
I know. I'm like, it's been
like a few days.
What is going on?
What were you waiting for? I mean,
So I looked up the land records in the town and found out who the owner of the property was and sent him a letter. He got the letter and then called me the next day. And I didn't realize he lived right upstairs. So he called me the next day. He's like, yeah, I'll rent you the space. So, I said, okay, he had some bills. He got stuck with some bills after the other tenant passed away. So I helped him a little bit with the bills. And we put together a deal. I think we signed the lease like 4 days after, 5 days later, had some months of free rent. And then myself, Melissa, and my oldest son went in and we completely renovated the store.
We did everything ourselves.
It was full of top loaders and it had 4 front loaders. It's like 800 square feet. It's small, but it's a small community. It does really well considering the size of the store. We went in and renovated it, took all the top loaders out. I think we left 2 and just charge a lot for them. And that's pretty much what we do with top loaders at this point. But renovated the whole store and it took us like a couple of months, opened it up and that was store number 4. So we, it was cool. That one I think probably is near and dear to my heart because we actually stripped that store completely down to nothing and rebuilt it. So it was fun. We had a good time doing it.
It was time that we got to spend with our 24-year-old that we probably wouldn't get to spend with.
Yeah, we had a blast. We had so much fun. So, the landlord's great, leaves us alone, and we give him his check every month. Yeah.
Everybody's happy at that point.
Everyone's happy. Yeah.
But that is super cool to be able to go in. I mean, you put your own blood, sweat, and tears into it, got to spend time, with your son and do a project together and build your portfolio, right? Build your.
Yeah. I mean, we designed it, laid it out, Melissa's good with that. I'm horrible with that kind of stuff. And, like when we bought our house, she's like, yeah, I want to take this wall down, do this, do that, and that thing in that store. I'm like, whatever, so I said, I'll just buy the machines and, here we go. So that's what we ended up doing. And she kind of,
it's a downfall of mine. I have no fear. I will try to do anything.
She should be on HGTV.
That's right.
It's like Joanna Gaines over here.
Yeah. We need a Laundromat TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come in. You need to go in and like make over laundromat. What's that, like bar rescue? You need like a laundromat rescue show.
Yeah.
Dude.
There you go.
That would be fun.
Edit this out so nobody steals that idea.
Yeah, please. 24 hours you go in. It's like Restaurant Impossible.
Oh my gosh.
To go through. But no, that's like, we work well off each other. We haven't killed each other yet. So, I mean, that's a positive, I mean, a lot of husband, wife, teams don't do well together. It's kind of like people that have partners that just aren't good in business. But I mean, my weaknesses are her strengths and her strengths are my weaknesses. So, I mean, it works out really well. So usually she has more strengths than I do. I'm going to, but yeah. So no, we work well together. We have a good time.
Yeah. You got to pull your weight, buddy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys have any, do you guys have any advice for any other husband, wife teams that are maybe thinking about getting into the industry, or maybe they have some?
Do it. No, I mean,
if you get along with someone,
if you hate your spouse, don't
go into business.
Go into business.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote you on that one. That one will go on Instagram.
Is that going to be the title of this podcast?
Right.
If you hate your spouse, don't go into business with them.
No, I mean, like I said, if you feel comfortable, I don't even know if I should say if you feel comfortable, dive in, because really,
discomfort is where you're going to find success.
Is where you're going to find success. That's the line for the podcast. But yeah, I think, just go for it. Have each other's backs and, know what the roles are and go for it. So that's kind of what we did. That's
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then marry a spouse that has more strengths than you. Right.
Right. That's key.
That's important.
Yeah.
Right. Or come up with the idea for a laundromat and then just have your husband do the rest.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My wife did. What's up with that? Okay. So you bought this little one. You guys spruced it up yourselves. You did it yourselves. How'd you land number 5? Wait, when was that number 4? What?
Number 4 was a year ago next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Next week. And it's smaller than we wanted it to be, but it works, man.
The rent is so reasonable. It makes up for it.
Yeah, it works, and one of the things that we do in our stores too, I mean, the wash cycles are pretty short there too. So you can turn people around. It's kind of like, a restaurant likes to turn the table over. So that's what I like to do, is get people in and out as quick as possible so I can turn those machines over, especially in a smaller store. You need to have that,
quick wash cycle.
Quick wash going for you and quick dry as best you can.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Cool. And then, so where did number 5 come in the picture?
We were driving,
listening to a podcast,
drinking a coffee
on a Saturday morning. Jordan Berry said, "Turn right." I think.
In fact, if you're listening right now, turn right, pull into that laundromat part.
Laundromat, man, make an offer.
We looked at stores in between and had deals that didn't work out. Not to make it sound like we just, there was a store that we had looked at and we really wanted it, and it just wasn't in the cards. And I'm glad it wasn't, because it ended up that it would not have been good for us. So I was glad that we lost out on that one. And we seem to be lucky that we lose out on the ones that afterwards, because we move so quick. Afterwards, we realized, okay, well, that was for a reason, someone's watching out for us.
Mm-hmm. No one's here. Sorry. I knocked on the table. Someone thinks that nobody's here. No. Sorry.
So we kind of wanted to have our unattended stores be in a route. So when we go to them, it's kind of in a row. So we kind of had ideas of where we were going to look, like what our target area was.
And own that territory with our stores, just take over. They're all about 5 miles apart from each other, and.
So I found an area that I kind of liked.
You found?
Yeah.
I found it.
Whatever.
Okay, honey.
Happy wife, happy life. We need to have a death match here. Found it.
All right, she found it.
We found at the other store.
I know.
So Ryan sent a letter, because he's good at that. And we had met with an owner of a store, and we walked through it, and there was just no way. And looking at the competition in the area of the store, we found the store that we actually bought.
And it was closed.
It was closed.
The owner got hurt in a pretty serious accident. And the store was closed. So I ended up
writing a letter.
Online, you can kind of figure out who owns what, if you spend enough time. So, but I actually sent the letter to the prior owner that sold it to the person that we bought it from. But he gave me her name, so I was able to figure it out that way. So it took a little longer than we wanted it to. But
this is also how he pursued me when we were dating.
Through a letter?
Letters?
I stalked her to gas.
You wrote a letter to your friend, and your friend was like,
"Yeah, right.
It's awkward, but
yeah, right.
I think you're talking about her."
Yeah, exactly. So
must be one good writer. Jeez, man.
I don't know. I just copy and paste. So we ended up getting in contact with that owner, and she wanted to sell. It was just a good time for her. And it was another store that had great machinery. It had newer Continental high-speed machines, Continental dryers. It was a good store. I mean, everything in there is, relatively new. And it was just, the machines are great. The physical appearance of the store and just the upkeep was awful. I mean, the machines were newer, but they had, if one had a door problem, she'd put out an order. If it had one of them had an inverter that was bad, it'd be out of order. So, we went in and fixed all the machines, got them going. Melissa, we have store colors now that we've kind of just, all of our stores are all branded and themed the same. So we went in and did the branded colors. And, and I don't know, the rest is history. I mean, we just reopened the store on November 1st. So it's fairly new. But so far, so good. So we kind of just feel like we have it down now, this method of going in and rehabbing and marketing and, and what we need to do from when we open 30 days out, 60 days out, and it seems to be working. So, that's kind of where we are with store number 5.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think that that's one of the perks of this bit. Well, I think of business in general, like once you find a pattern that works, you can kind of repeat it over and over and find similar success. Right. And that's, that's a big key. And I think that's one of the strengths of podcasts like this, where, someone like you is sharing, here's what we're doing to find success. It's a repeatable pattern. And if you can model after, people who have what you want to have, then you can get something similar to what they have.
And it's just gotten easier each time too. I mean, you just, the more time to do it, the easier it gets, but it's just, all right, this model works, it's proven to work. So we're going to do it in stores 3, 4, and 5, and then if things need to be tweaked a little bit along the way, we do that. But I mean, this store was definitely easiest to turn around.
The infrastructure was all good and everything. It just needed cleaning, paint, flooring, ceiling tiles, lighting.
It had like 2 overhead lights that worked, and the store's like 2,000 square feet.
Right. Well,
things like that.
How many do you really need? I mean,
yeah, we put an extra one in there, so it's 3. No, but it had, like I said, it had good machinery. It couldn't get showcased because the rest of it was just awful. So, the hot water heater was unplugged. I mean, it was just crazy.
Well, it costs money to run those things.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to get my gas bill.
Yeah.
But, little things like that we've done. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all this begs the question in my book is, if you've got a pattern that's working and it seems to be getting easier each time, do you guys have any goals or aspirations going forward? Like, do you have a number you're trying to get to? Do you have, I don't know, what do you got going forward in the future here?
I wouldn't say it's so much a number of stores. We kind of have a business model that we're liking. We're liking the unattended stores. So I think that we're trying to kind of shift towards that more so.
But it's not unattended. You don't hear from us. You can't contact us. It's not unattended that way. It's unattended, but we're here for you. And if you have a problem, we'll take care of it. We've automated our store quite a bit, so we're able to instantly make 75% of issues, make good on them right away. So if someone needs a machine, if a machine didn't spin out, or it's not filling because the drain's stuck open or whatever, we can say, okay, move your clothes over to the next machine and we'll start it remotely. So our oldest son's a tech guru and built a program where we can go in through our phone and through Surrey and say, start washer 19 at XYZ location, and it will give all the credit and have the customer be able to start the machine. So we're just trying to automate, work smarter, not harder, and make sure that customer experience is good. So that's kind of, all the stores are automated to open and close on their own, and they all kind of run themselves at those parts of the day. And then we're in there at least twice a day to the stores, not the Hartford one, but the ones that are close to the house, especially the unattended ones, multiple times a day. So works for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. It sounds like an awesome business model. Do you have any, I just feel like I need to ask you guys this because you guys seem like you're pretty pro at it, but like for say someone who is taking over a zombie mat, or maybe somebody who has a laundromat now that maybe they've kind of let go a little bit and maybe they need to, step up their game a little bit. Do you have any advice for them on how to turn something like that around?
What do you
sell to us?
All right.
All right. That's it. Next question.
There you go. Okay.
No, I think a lot of people look past the inexpensive things they can do and just think it's a huge capital investment they need to make. And it's not. Like, I feel like little things like, being clean, obviously, and this industry has a very bad reputation. And it seems like even since we've started in this business 3.5 years ago, it seems like it's actually improved in that short amount of time. And I think it's thanks to podcasts like yours and just the, YouTube channels and, and all that. But a coat of paint, it's amazing what a coat of paint can do. I mean, the Taffville store was this really crappy yellow looking, like it just dingy looking color. And then we came in and she splashed our store colors in and it looked like a brand new store. And it was a 2-day project. I mean, I went out and got coffee all day with her for her and water and lunch, and she was painting away. I came in like, damn, that looks really good, hon. But no, just like little things. A lot of people don't think of the little things.
I think lighting is a big thing too.
You're right.
Lighting is
LEDs.
Lighting is a big thing. People don't want to be in a dark, gross looking space. I think that having all your machinery working and having the store look clean, if you're an attended store, making sure that your attendants are greeting customers as they come in, telling the customer their name, and if they need anything, if you need anything, my name is whatever. I think, doing that as an attendant makes customers feel like if they have a problem, they know the person's name, they can go and ask them.
Like if our unattended stores, I go in every morning early. Usually I start my day early. And I know so many things about so many customers' lives because they're in there for an hour. I mean, about so many things, and I'm glad the election's over, but, we do talk about so many things and it's not, for me, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to pretend I like this person so they come back next week. It's not like that for me. It's a genuine, like, I want to know, get to know you, how you doing, how your family is. I mean, I can't tell you how many customers that we know on a first name basis and know their kids and what they do for work. And, and we had a customer a few weeks ago, he drove in a new car and I said, oh, you got a new car. I like your car. I mean, those little things that,
it's your spot. It makes it their spot. If they feel like it's their spot, they're going to keep coming. People are creatures of habit. I think that, if they like you, and also if something goes wrong and they like you and know who you are, then it makes it easier when something goes wrong. They're not horrible about it. They're understanding and, stuff breaks. They understand. Because
I can tell you that a laundromat that has maybe machines that are a little bit older, but have great customer service and owners that care and embedded in the community are going to do far better than a brand new laundromat with no identity, no owner, no, like it's that's kind of what, what we're doing. And just caring about the communities that you serve. I mean, it's funny. I almost feel guilty sometimes because customers say, thank you for this service. Customers need you, and I almost feel like, wow, it shouldn't be that way. I should be thanking you for coming into my business and spending your hard-earned money. But a lot of people look at it the other way. And, and I think it's just showing customers that you appreciate them, goes a long way.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I love that you said that because it is. I mean, Elizabeth Bricken Wilson, a few episodes ago, she said something that it just stuck with me, and I've brought it up a couple times since then. But one of the things she said is, our laundromats are an extension of people's homes, right? And so when you treat people like they're at home, it means a lot, right? And they are going to thank you because so many people have had an experience with a laundromat that is not that, right? They're dark, right. They're dingy. Speaking of casinos, it's a casino as to whether or not the machine's going to work when they put money in there, whether or not they're going to get a refund if it doesn't work. And, so putting that personal touch on it, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal.
Our names are on every laundromat on the wall, thank you for coming. And like she was talking about, I mean, a $20 sign or, that's the difference. A customer just today pointed to the sign and said, oh, you're Brian. And I said, yeah. And she was new to the store and those little things just add so much. And we put our name on a lot of what we do, and to give it a personal touch. And I don't know, I feel like that is the secret sauce. So we don't need to go to that part of the program now.
Well, you always, people might not remember what you say, but they definitely will always remember how you make them feel. So if you make people feel good, then they remember that.
That's huge. I mean, beautifully said. Beautifully said. But I am not going to let you off the hook because we do have a section called Secret Sauce.
Listen up, it's the Secret Sauce.
And secret sauce is just advice that you have for current owners, maybe something you're doing. I mean, you've already shared a lot. And so maybe you want to pick one of those. And you've teased a couple of things that you said you wanted to mention. So feel free to bring those up and we can go a little bit more into those. But advice, maybe something that's working for you that other owners can implement, would work for them.
You talked about earlier, you wrote this down, the wash, dry, fold, and bagging.
Oh, with the wash, dry, and fold. I feel like something that's really important. And I've seen people advertise their business. I follow a lot of laundromats. The folding and bagging of the laundry sometimes is not very stellar in the pictures that I see for advertising. I think it's really important. We do a lot of wash, dry, and fold in one of our stores. And I think the reason why it does so well is because it is folded so neatly and bagged so neatly. And I just think that's really important.
Yeah. Nobody's ever mentioned that before, but I see how that is, because not only I'm just thinking out loud right now about that, because I think that's a really great tip, because not only does that affect how the clothes are going to wear, like, am I going to need to re-iron these clothes because they were kind of wadded up essentially, or you're just not folded well. So not only does it do that, but also just talking about people are going to remember how you make them feel when you present somebody with clean clothes that are not folded well. It's not a good presentation. It's not the same feeling as if you're presenting them something that's folded nicely and neatly. It's uniform. It's folded the same way every time, no matter who's kind of doing the laundry, and it's nicely in a bag. That's a different feeling that you're going to have, a much more positive feeling.
Well, it's like, when you go to a restaurant and you order a pizza and it comes out one way 1 week, and then you go back 3 weeks later and it's a different way. And then you go back, it's got to be consistent. And our big thing, it's got to go from the bag to the dresser. It can't go from the bag to the ironing board to the dresser. It's got to be, that's got to be I got to get my phone. It keeps ringing. Can I get my phone real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
We don't need you here. Melissa and I can just take care of this thing.
It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, we've got it covered.
Yeah. So I do think that is a big deal. And it's a huge struggle to get some people to understand what neat is and how to fold the same. I find that's probably one of my most difficult things in training staff, is getting them all to fold uniformly and bag neatly. And it's kind of like a puzzle, putting it in the bag, what bags, how to fold the pants so that the shirts can fit next to it. And
are you training all your staff?
So I was in the beginning, and then I trained my mother-in-law, and she works for us and she trains our staff now. I kind of and make sure that, they're good once she's done with them, but she does a good job.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so you mentioned that you're doing basically an unattended store, right? But you have wash, dry, fold. How does that work?
So the wash, dry, and fold is at our 2 attended stores.
Okay.
And then the 3 unattended stores don't have wash, dry, and fold.
Okay. So you have both. You have wash, dry, fold, and you have attended and unattended. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, awesome secret sauce. You know what I just realized is that I totally skipped. I want to get down to business.
Let's get down to business. Over and out.
And hear a little bit about your businesses. I totally skipped that section, but I do want to hear about them, because I think what you're doing is very, very cool and very just unique. And so I'd love to hear a little more details about how it's playing out for you guys. So we know you're in Connecticut, pretty much as far away from me as possible, which I take offense to. You got in the business. You said the last day of 2017, you closed on your first one. Is that what you said?
That was our first day of business. Yep.
Wow. That's crazy. Happy New Year, though. That's a good way to start the year. Can you tell, what does it cost in Connecticut to do laundry? What are VIN prices looking like?
They start for like the little Horizons. They'll start at $2.75 or $3 for the Horizons. Depends what location. The stores are located in widely different areas, so it depends kind of on the area and what the competition looks like. So we'll go, say $3 on a Horizon, and we're usually like $1.50 over the poundage. So if it's a 40, it'd be, $5.50, and 60s, $7.50. And then we have 80-pound machines that are $10, $20 right? 1025. So again, depending on, not all the stores are priced the same. There's a lot that goes into consideration.
And we've been creeping our prices up because Connecticut's minimum wage is going to be going up to $15 an hour. So,
and we pay above minimum wage now, but it's been going up. It's going up $1 an hour every year until it gets to 15. So
we've been kind of, as people get their raises, we've been kind of increasing our prices.
Pass through, basically.
Right. Yeah, you got to prepare for that. And I think that's that's a good little piece of advice, because I think a lot of owners have gotten caught, with minimum wages creeping up, but not keeping pace with their pricing. And
you have to. I mean, or else you'll be out of business, or you'll be coming out of your pocket. And, it's like utilities, the same thing. And we try to increase the prices. We try to be cognizant of when, our customers will get increases in their pay, or, if minimum wage is going up, I think it's August 1st, then, we'll put an increase right around that time. And just try to keep up that way and don't get behind. Because if you do, you're either going to be out of business, or you're going to have to raise your prices so fast that your customers are just going to,
they won't be happy.
So,
yeah, that is tough to do.
Sure.
Okay. Can we talk just for a second about what kinds of turns per day are you guys seeing in your stores? I'm sure it varies, but.
Yeah, it varies by location and by machine. We have some really popular machines.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger machines are the most popular. We have some machines that are doing, 12 to 14. And we have some that are 4, I mean, the most popular machines in one of our stores, they just don't stop all day, in our 24-hour store. I mean, they're moving all day. So they're doing an average of 12 to 14 a day.
What size are those ones?
60s,
man. That is moving. That's literally going pretty much all day.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could get them all, or get an average of 8 between all of them, or 7. But, I would say the rest dramatically drop off after that to 3, the average 4, maybe 5 spins a day, depending on the day and the time of the month. So,
yeah. Cool.
Those are solid. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Load up those 60s. I know you were mentioning beforehand that you can't really add any more 60s in that location, but man.
No, I wish we could.
No, but our big thing is put the big machines by the door, and that's what we do. Our 80s right by the door, our 60s are right by the door. It's just the first machine. I don't know, first machine in wins, and that's kind of the way that we look at it. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
Yep.
All right. We already kind of talked about you running both attended and unattended model. Are you guys doing coin, card, hybrid?
We have everything.
They're all hybrid. Yeah. They're all hybrid. The one attended store, our first store, is an ESD store. So that one's card only, but you can load your card with cash or credit, EBT. Yeah. And then all the other ones are hybrid.
How do you like that hybrid model? Out of curiosity.
Love it. We, customers like it. I like it. It's just,
we're the only one in the area doing it. So it sets us apart. And if people don't have cash, they're more willing to charge stuff, and people don't keep track as much when they're swiping a card. They just don't.
And what 20-year-old or 30-year-old has cash? Yeah. I mean, it's just not, everything's done through, an Apple Pay or Google Pay, whatever, so I'll pay the percentage, the fees. I'll pay them all day long. If I'm going to be able to retain a customer, I'll pay the 3% or whatever it is. I'm fine with that. But still, it's funny. I thought being hybrid, more percentage would be on the digital side. With the app. Still, cash is still king. And we're starting to see, I don't know if it's pandemic related or not. I mean, we started to see more of the app being used. Some of it's probably from marketing too, about contactless payment. It's kind of the swing that we put on it since the pandemic started. So, and customers love it. We use PayRange as our I don't know what you want to call it.
Digital payment system.
Digital payment. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Which we found super easy, and customers love it. So we have PayRange in all the stores.
Do you have any sense of like the percentage of breakdown for cash versus card?
Varies by location.
Yeah, it varies by location. We have one location that's probably 30 to 40%, and then we have one that's probably 10%. So it just depends on location. Our Hartford location is it's not as popular. It's there as an option, but it's not as popular as some of our other locations. So. But I like having the options. I'm not going to turn away money. I'm not going to say, oh no, no, we can't take that. Sorry, and I don't know. I'm not one to say, we don't have a lot of signs in our stores that say no. No this. I don't think we have any no's. It's all yeses. Yes, you can do this. Yes, wow. Yes, our machines do take any kind of payment. Yes, you can put 60 pounds of clothes in that one machine. It's all about the yes. And, you walk into Laundromats and it's like, no this, no that, no, we're not going to take your money that way. You have to give it to us this way, and I don't know why create roadblocks when you can create, more money.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that though, actually. And I like that, we've talked a lot about sort of the physical atmosphere and even like, just a little bit about, having like friendly attendants and stuff like that in creating atmosphere. But I think even the fact that you say, hey, we don't have signs in our store that say no, that is atmosphere creating, right? That is making it feel like home. Nobody's going to tell you no, you can't do something within reason.
What business do you walk into and you see a bunch of signs telling you what not to do?
Yeah, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing. Yeah,
prison? Maybe prison. I haven't been there yet. So but like how many, do you walk into a restaurant? Do they tell you all these things you can't do? Let's tell you what we have to offer. Let's tell you, all the good things about our business. Not that you can't sit on our folding tables, get your kids out of our carts. We don't have a bathroom, I don't know.
Let's face it. The people that you don't want doing stuff, whether you have a sign or not, they're still going to make a difference. They're still going to do it. So there's no point in putting the signs up anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're not telling them anything they don't know already.
No.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. I don't want to let this slide because you kind of glossed over it, but I do want to point out that I did hear you say that you haven't been to prison yet.
Yes.
So
he's planning.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, it's kind of like with my daughter's boyfriends. I'm like, I tell them, don't make me go back to prison. You
got to keep him on his toes. Keep that upper hand. I like that. There's the real pro tip.
That's a pro tip right there.
Anybody with a daughter, which I have a daughter, then it terrifies me. So
yeah, just wait.
It should.
Write the book for me, learn the lessons and all.
There you go.
Good. Speaking of pro tips, we got a section called Pro Tips.
Pro Tips.
And Pro Tips is, what advice do you have for anybody who's looking maybe to buy their first laundromat?
Oh.
Network.
Yeah.
Go on the forums, and some of the Facebook groups, there's some questions out there sometimes that a lot of the people think are ridiculous or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask a question. Go on the forums, go to your Laundromat resource page and you'll quickly find out who the heavy hitters are in this business and gravitate towards them. Watch YouTube, do your homework, but then jump in when you're jump in. Don't second guess yourself. Don't doubt yourself out of being successful. There's a certain amount of risk with everything and we knew that going into this but we control our success, and we felt comfortable knowing that, okay, we can do this together. We'll either succeed together or we'll fail together.
The alternative was living with my mother again. I don't think
guess what? I'll work 28 hours.
You're going back to prison.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's going back to prison. So guess what? I'm going to work my ass off to make sure these stores are working. No, just do the research. A lot of people are out there pushing new machines, and new this and new that, and get into a lot of debt. I'm not along those lines, especially in the beginning. We just made a big investment in one of our stores and equipment. We're 3 years in. It's our biggest purchase we've made yet. But I felt like if we didn't make certain decisions early on to maybe hit pause on some of those things that you're tempted to do and to work with what you got, we wouldn't be able to make that purchase today. So don't necessarily think you have to have brand new equipment. It's a great thing. Yes. I think, it's tax benefits. Yes. There's utility savings. Yes. But when you're new in this business, keep the training wheels on. And if you have older equipment, shine it up, do what you can do to make it work. And, that's my advice for somebody new. Don't worry about, and every situation is different, but don't worry about having brand new stuff unless you can afford it. Well, damn, let's go in business together, open stores. But, if you're just getting in like we did, take your time, leave the training wheels on, have killer customer service, have a nice clean store, and
make sure everything's running.
Make sure everything's running and work with what you got, and we did that with our first store and it worked, we didn't have a big note to pay every month on new equipment, and I think, like I said earlier, I think a store with brand new equipment and that's dirty and has horrible customer service isn't going to beat a store that has great customer service, a little bit older of equipment. I mean, I don't know. Customers don't walk in
and know how old a piece of equipment is.
Oh, that's 15, not 8 years old. They don't, and you might get a few that do, but generally, no, they're going to remember you saying, "Hi, Mr. Jones, how are you? How's your wife feeling, this week?" To me, especially for new owners, that's key. That's what we did, and it worked.
I think there is a little bit of truth to after that first year, it's all old equipment, right? To the customers, because they don't know.
Right.
I mean, to an extent, depending on how old exactly we're talking.
Yeah, I mean,
none of our stores, right? I mean, none of our stores.
It's not burnt orange or avocado.
No, I think our oldest machine is like 15. 17. They're getting older. We bought them, they were 14 years old, but it's, it worked for us. It's not sometimes I see that being pushed and I'm thinking to new owners, it's okay to work on work off some older equipment in the beginning.
Yeah. I like the advice of focusing on learning the business basics, all these things that you've been talking about this whole episode, learn the business basics. Once you have those in place, the new equipment is only going to accelerate your growth, right? Because once you have the clean store, once you have the good customer service, once you have all the systems in place, and then you add new equipment to that, that's just
make it even better.
Yeah, that's just taking to the next level. So
that's the thing too. Like we've worked hard to market these businesses and keep them going and get new customers in. And then, in a couple of months when the order comes in, we're going to have, all new dryers with, the quantum touch controls and then our base of customers that like us are going to like us even more now. And they're going to tell people, wow, my laundromat that I've been going to, got these new dryers, they're reversing, my stuff doesn't wrinkle. And, so, that's, a good tip is, not to do it all at once, in the situation that, hey,
every situation is different,
but it worked for us. So,
yeah. Well, and we didn't really even touch on this. Maybe we can touch on this for just a couple of minutes here, but you guys are building for the first time, right?
We are looking into building.
Yeah. Yeah. We are, every one of our stores they've been rehabs of existing stores and, we're going to be hopefully building soon. We're
looking for a location. We got a couple towns. We're kind of undecided.
So,
what made you guys want to build?
We're nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah.
We
want to try it. We want to try everything.
I think we're at the point now where we're ready to take on a project like that. We feel more comfortable taking on a project like that. And honestly, just seeing some of the new designs and the way some of these new stores look, they're just, it's next level.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're at a certain point, and I feel like we've elevated the laundromat business model in this area. But I want to get to the next spot, and some of these new builds that you see are just gorgeous, and that's kind of where we want to be. So, yeah.
Yeah. And there's really not a whole lot more for you guys to do if you're basically buying laundromats in one day now. I mean, you can't really go
Right.
any faster.
Oh, I know. I waited longer for McDonald's food. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to hear about the progress on that build. If you guys find a good spot for it, I want to keep tabs on you guys and see, how that build's going. Maybe we can get an update from you.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. We got a section called recommended resources. You got any resources you'd recommend to people to help them either grow their business or themselves personally?
What do you think? I mean, you're always on the.
Yeah. Obviously your website and forum, the Facebook, laundromat owners, laundromat tips for success. I don't know. There's a few laundromat Facebook pages out there.
Mm-hmm.
Where else?
Look at the Coin Laundry magazine.
Coin Laundry, Planet Laundry. I fix all the machines. So I watch, there's YouTube channels, following Keenan is one. There's a bunch of different, laundromat, YouTube driven type of channels to watch. So, I mean, that's kind of what we're all around. Coin Laundry, we're members of Coin Laundry. I want to keep that going. I know they make you pay for the forum now, but it's, hey, if they're going to advocate for us, I'm going to pay, and I'll help as much as as much as we can to be members too. So, I mean, just, we're kind of everywhere.
Yeah. Awesome.
What's on TV tonight? I don't know. Laundromat Millionaire.
Yeah. Laundromat Millionaire. Get it all, man. That's great. Yeah. Awesome resources. I think that's, good. I like that you're on just like a bunch of different mediums. You're just, you're learning wherever you can learn. Right. And I think that's
never stop learning.
Big key for those resources. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. So awesome. I mean, your guys' story is a whirlwind of awesomeness, really. I mean, you guys are doing some really, really cool stuff, and it sounds like you have more on the horizon, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Last question I have for you is if people are interested in what you're doing, how can they get in touch with you?
The best way is, go to our website. Sorry, I have an 80-pound lab trying to sit on my lap. mylaundryforless.com is the
our email.
Is the site. Yeah, it's our website for the stores, and it has all of our contact info right at the bottom.
Say buy or my?
mylaundryforless.com. Yep.
Cool.
Everything right there.
Awesome website name. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a ton of fun, and we will definitely have to have you back on later on down the line when we get an update to see if you can beat your one-day record of the laundromat.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's fun.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And man, thanks again so much for not just coming on the podcast, but also just listening to the podcast. Let me cruise around with you guys while you're looking for
this Saturday, man. You're on.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. That show was awesome. Brian and Melissa are just super, super cool people. I had a blast getting to know them and hearing their story, learning a ton from them. As every week, I really, really encourage you to pick at least one thing out of this episode, put it into action. Hopefully you've been doing that all of these episodes. If you have, then I bet you've seen a lot of growth. And if you haven't, start today. Pick something out of this episode, put it into action this week. Wherever you're at on your laundromat journey, there's something you can put into action. For me, personally, I think it's so inspiring for me that Brian and Melissa are doing what they're doing by focusing on the fundamentals. Have a good, clean store. Make sure your equipment is working. Make sure your attendant is friendly. Make sure you're paying attention to the little details. Make sure you're advertising your business. All these basic things. They're just laser focused on them, and it's allowing them to scale incredibly fast. So super cool. I love that. Back to basics for me. Whatever it is for you, hey, let me know what it is. Jordan at laundromatresource.com. I'd love to hear what your one thing is that you're focusing on this week. That'd be so cool. Or go drop it on the forums, laundromatresource.com/forums over there, and let people know what's the one thing that you are putting into action this week. That'd be super cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I know you did, and hopefully you grabbed some good information that's going to help you on your laundromat journey. Go get financial freedom through laundromat ownership, and we will see you again next week for another awesome episode of the Laundromat Resource